Hello, Namaste. This is 𝗦𝗛𝗔𝗛 here and welcome back to my channel 𝗦𝗛𝗔 Stock Analyst. So in today's video, I would like to discuss about that how the 𝗏𝗏 is happening. Means stock market globally. I am talking about globally. Stock markets in general. Stock markets, bond yield, and Ukraine war, Russia-Ukraine war. How three are together climbing towards the crescendo, what you call that symphony, and reaching at its the peak, or what you call that the fag end of all the rally, because we have seen that witnessed this rally. So if you look at in last 3 months, actually from the middle of the March to be precise, because last year the market was nowhere. It was in you can say that market had was in slump, but it had not corrected to that extent that which people were expecting, looking at the interest rate scenario and the recessionary scenario. So when the middle of the March, there's all the globally, all the markets, the US market and the Asian market and particularly Indian market, they started rising and rising in such a way that it has reached to the all-time high. At least particularly for Indian market, Indian stock market, Nifty 50 has reached to the all-time historical high. Okay, and other markets are also towards there, like USA and the European market and all the generally in Asian markets, they are all towards their the peak which they had achieved in 2021 post the COVID, right? So, and if you look at the bond market also, so the bond yields have mostly, if you look at the UK, it reached to the historical high of 4.86% today, and USA also it's nearly towards its peak. In Indian market and in the Asian markets also, all these bond yields, if you look at the various bond yields also, they are all towards their, what do you call that, so-called in the recent times, in the many years times, this high. And in the same way, the third leg or the symphony, how the symphony is happening, it's Ukraine and Russia war. So you, as everybody is knowing, that it started in February 2022 last year, and because after that the slump happened. And then if you look at, and why I say that it's at the fag end of the Ukraine war, because many must be arguing it that no, still it is going on, and Ukraine is very much doing great work in the counter-offensive and counter-attacking Russia. So let me give you some points so which you can decide for yourself that what is the current actually situation. If you look at the starting of the war and the last full year till say this year February March, there was a lot of talks about that how Russia was losing, and continuously that how Ukraine was winning and how Ukraine repulsed and retook this territory from Russia's capture and all these things. So despite of all this Russia had in 1 year captured almost around 18% of the Ukrainian territory land. Okay, and they had made these 4 regions, as you call that, new regions of Russia, annexed regions from Ukraine. So, but now what is the difference is that if you look at from the March onwards, when the so-called Ukrainian counter-offensive tom-tom started about that we are going to counter-offense, attack Russia, and we will take away all the territories, and you will see that massive counter-offensive, it has proved to be done in such a way that now if you look at in last 2 months, you will not find any such mention of Ukrainian winning this and Ukrainian successfully did this counter-offensives. There won't be much talks about the Ukraine war. It is already muted now. So this is what the media, it is all controlled media, Western media propaganda. So there is also a lot of backroom negotiations has started, because they have understood the Western world that it is not going to happen. Any counter-offensive is not successful, and Ukraine is going to lose more and more whatever little remaining of their manpower and equipments, the war equipments, right? All this machineries, ammunitions. So already talking about that Ukraine's counteroffensive is not so successful. The same media which was very much praising about Ukrainian leadership and how Ukraine was repelling all this Russian, and how there was this Wagner revolt happened, and Russia is again, Ukraine is a masterstroke. It was all, this. It was nothing much truth into that, and that is the ground reality, and that is what you will not see much so-called news about the Ukrainian offensive or the Ukrainian gaining territory or Ukrainian. You will only see about already that Western countries tired of, and they are all pushing. Hungary is already told that we are not going to supply any more aid. We will not allow any more aid into by EU. We will block that. Then France is also already tumbled in its own internal problems of riots and other economic problems. Germany already talked about that, no, we are not going to, we will support, but there is nothing like before. It was at without any limit support. The best, what you can observation comes from the UK. UK was the biggest supporter and the biggest supplier of, even it was supporting more than the USA. Its support for Ukraine was more than the USA, and it was very extremist. It's all rhetoric and tone against Russia, and in support of Ukraine was very extremist kind of tone. And suddenly, if you'll see in last 1 week, that's Rishi Sunak, UK Prime Minister, is talking about that we can't be forever enemy with Russia. Russia is a very big and a very important country. We can't have, that spoiled relations, all that all this life. It cannot continue. So we have to find a way how, we can even start to normalize. So what is all this says? Why I am talking about all this news is that it says that even war is at its fag end. So all the three legs of this, what you call that, economy, war and everything, geopolitics, the stock market, bond yield and Ukraine war, they are all at its fag end, and it is reaching towards crescendo. So what you will see that post summer, in August, September around, actually you will see some kind of a shaping up, already backroom negotiations and all these things will happen, and by this year you will see the actual some concrete regarding this, because there is no more manpower with Ukraine. I mean, you need men to fight. So the way in last few months that Russia has ferocious attacks have gone, they have almost wiped out a huge number of, sadly, the Ukrainian army or the people, whatever you call that, fighters. There is hardly anybody remaining to fight. So no men to protect the country. It's like this. It's sad, but that is the ground reality. So what is in all this thing, if you look at the history, you will see that all this, suppose that bond yields and stock market in simultaneously reaching to the top peak. So it's called crescendo, like in the musical symphony, reaching to the crescendo, the peak, and you will see that it is at the fag end, and then so from that you will see it is coming down. So in the post-war scenario, if you look at the Second World War and First World War, you will see that when all the assets, particularly the currencies and everything, they start losing meaning in case of higher interest rates, higher inflationary scenario, and the economic wobbling down, then the people start or the government also start hoarding gold, because gold becomes the real asset which is used as a currency or exchange for doing trade. So I think we will see some kind of a shaping up coming up for the currency to replace the so-called universal accepted currency of US dollar. So that is also losing its prominence. I am not saying that it is going out and nobody is going to, it will remain in force. But slowly and certainly all other countries are trying to switch off to some kind of a currency which is backed by the real assets. So gold becomes I think the best commodity for that. So you will see some kind of new sort of basket of currency or which is pegged to the gold also coming to. So that way, all this scenario, in such kind of scenario, I would, my recommendation is that go for the gold, and because gold is yet to reach its peak, it is going nowhere. So you can see new peaks for the gold. That would be the the case scenario, because all these three has reached at its peg end or the crescendo. So now it's time for the gold to go to the peak. And with the gold, you see there is a silver and the platinum scenario ratio is there. So generally platinum ratio is there. So with the gold, platinum also would rise to the peak. So that is what this precious metals story. One can start investment. One can still, even though you see that gold has risen so much, $1,940 per ounce or something like this. Let me check what is the currently gold prices. Yeah, it's $1,919 per ounce, but you will see it going to $2,100 per ounce. That will be the peak. So, and before ending this video, I would just request all of you to please subscribe to my channel and you please put a like if you like this video, and share it with the maximum friends so that everybody can benefit from this. And for my I don't, making video is a little bit a longer process. So as and when on a daily basis or on a regular basis, you can say I come out with some ideas and some unique ideas, unique concepts regarding market, economy, currency, geopolitics, and I write it on my come out on my YouTube, on Telegram channel. Also Telegram channel you can join for day to day and the regular updates about these markets. It's also 𝗦𝗛𝗔𝗛 stock analyst, and my website is there for any paid services for consultancy and all these things. You can write to me you can visit my website 𝗨𝗸𝗿𝗀𝗆𝗏 and write to me, and we can set up. So that's what I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and see you once again other time with some other unique idea, unique concept. Till that time, ciao from 𝗦𝗛𝗔 from Moscow.